We have our first phone caller on the line who's actually talking a little bit about what we're talking about right now. Mary from Calhoun County has a question about child custody. Mary, you can go ahead with that question when you're ready.
I have a question. My son and his baby mother have joint custody. Okay, the baby mother done took the child. Oh, my son and his baby mother has joint custody. And the mother have took the child in April. We haven't seen the child. She says her lawyer says she don't have to let my son see the child. How do we go about this?
Okay, Mary. And I apologize, from what I could hear, it sounds like there might be a contempt issue. If you do indeed have a court order, you can actually file a motion for contempt in the county or the state that retained jurisdiction over that order that allowed your son to have timeshare with his child. But you have to be careful. Sometimes I'll run into where it's only an order from child support, and sometimes child support does not make a recommendation or provide an order that establishes timeshare. But if there is indeed an order where your son is to have certain days of the month or the week and holidays, you definitely want to go ahead and see about doing a motion for contempt so you can get into court and bring those issues in front of a judge.
Erin, a follow-up question to that. How is child support calculated in the state of Florida? Is it different for every single state, or is it the same, and can you go over that?
So in the state of Florida, child support is determined by looking at the incomes of both parents. Then there's also a factor for not only the incomes, but also the overnight visitation. And then the court also looks at, is there any daycare or child care costs? And then is either of the parents providing medical health insurance? There are some other deductions that are available to both parents, and that's something that an attorney would be able to go through because there are several ones, and we'd get into a deeper discussion if we cover them all tonight. But there is a certain formula and guidelines that our state looks at.
And in terms of Mary's question there, if somebody is looking to get started down this road, you talk about dates, you talk about how do you decide, I mean, how does the court go about deciding how much time a child gets to spend with either parent? Is it something that you've seen get sorted out easily? If it's difficult, how do you go about sorting it out? And what if a parent is very stubborn on when they want to get that child?
So, family law is very passionate. And so we run into different options and different cases. Sometimes it's very easy. Both parents come together and within a matter of weeks have gone through their entire case. Other, as you mentioned, are maybe a little stubborn or very passionate about the issue and can take it all the way to trial. It just depends if your parties are willing to resolve. We're getting ready to start the school year, so I always recommend to my clients, go ahead and get the calendar for the district or the school for the child and go through with the other party. Who's going to get Christmas, who's going to get Thanksgiving? Is there some disagreement as to what the court order says versus what's in the Bay District School's calendar? Go ahead and work those out so you're not having those disagreements 2 days before Christmas, right before Thanksgiving, and it's already getting the holidays up to a rough start.
Is there a certain amount of holidays that you can, block off? Is there, if you have a legit reason you would need to take that child, is that something that the court would take into account, or is it where you would just kind of a free-for-all, we split it up, maybe eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I don't know, how they split that up. Is there something where you could use a legit reason, hey, I need them for Christmas because we're going to see their grandparents or something like that?
So we more see that with maybe religious holidays, but yes, the courts do like to look at the traditions of the parties. And that's what I like to do as well. Does one parent do maybe their Christmas on Christmas Eve versus actually Christmas Day? And so what I try to do and what the court tries to do is keep with those family traditions so that the child can indeed experience those as well with a certain parent. But I will say in instances where the parties cannot agree, sometimes the courts will just split it and do a basic holiday split that is traditional for our area.